And so I got pretty well known for just, doing a lot of those. You would wait a long time to get paid on them, but most I ever made off of one residential claim was $92,000.
92 G's off of a residential claim?
I walked with $92,000.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Door-to-Door Podcast. It's me again, Hunter Lee, and we have a really cool guest here. We have Judson Link on the computer. Don't mind me looking at him on the computer screen, but I'm really excited about this one. This guy's a stud. We actually connected at the real estate bus tour. Shout out to the, Red Suit Realtor? Yeah, that was a cool event. A lot of big names there, and some stuff we'll talk about a little bit later is kind of his new venture that he's doing now that stemmed from that event. So Judson Link, welcome to the podcast, man. Is it Judson or William? I saw your emails.
My first name is William, but it's William Judson Link, and I've always gone by my middle name.
Gotcha.
Judson.
William
Yeah.
Judson Link. It's a strong name. Judson's coming all the way from Scottsdale, Arizona, a beautiful place. Murderously hot right now. Metal is
yeah.
What's the temperature today?
Oh, it's in the hundreds for sure. Low hundreds, I'd say. Yeah.
Dang.
Somewhere around.
That's hot.
It's pretty normal. It's like, it's 95. That's pretty easy day.
Yeah. Oh man, they're diluted down there, man. That's hot. But all right, Judson, give our listeners a little bit of a background. Where are you from? How'd you get into door to door? How long have you been in the industry, and what are you up to now?
Yeah. So originally from Lexington, Kentucky. Been in the door to door industry since about 2018. I didn't, wasn't always in door to door, but I had a bunch of buddies who were knocking doors and roofing, and they knew that my dad owned a commercial roofing company all throughout his life. For 38 years it ran in Kentucky. I tore off, did labor for my dad when I was like 19, but never wanted anything to do with roofing. My buddies were in roofing, knocking doors, and like I saw them, leveling up their trucks, and I was like, dude, what are you all doing? And they're like, oh, we're selling roofs, knocking doors. And I'm like, dude, I'm not knocking doors. Like, that's crazy. And then once again, I see the same guy come back with a new truck, my dream truck, a F-250 lifted, and then
Platinum, Lariat, Super Duty.
Dude, I just think he had a Super Duty, black, lifted, all blacked out. Oof. And then he just got a Harley, and I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, still knocking doors, and I'm like, all right, I got to check this out.
For sure.
And I remember I was working in the phone room. I knew that it took a little bit to get into roofing because you gotta, it takes a little bit to get paid. And they basically told me, hey man, I see you killing it at the phone sales. Why don't you let us give you a draw, give you an advance? And that kind of started my roofing career. They're like, if you quit today, we'll give you a $5,000 draw.
Wow.
And I was like, say less, I'm out.
Say less, later. Phone and disconnected.
Yeah, so I started off in roofing, left that phone room, and the first year, I got into the game where these guys were going after $3 to $5 to $10 million homes with big clay tile roofs, and I was just like, whoa, like this is where it's at, and got blessed, got taught a lot, got some great training, and saw people getting like $30,000 cap outs, and I was like, yo, this is what's up. Mm-hmm. And when I started off, I went for everything. Don't get me wrong, but when the owner said, hey, you can make like $100,000 off of one roof, I was like drooling. Sure. I'm like, off of one roof, like what? Uh-huh. And so I got pretty well known for just, doing a lot of those. You would wait a long time to get paid on them, but most I ever made off of one residential claim was $92,000.
92 G's off of a residential claim?
I walked with $92,000.
Wow. And how long did that take from like contingency signed, if that's the route you took, obviously, to insurance payout, money in your pocket?
That one took about 5 months. Yeah, 5 months.
Take 9. Oh, dude. What was that like? What was that like waking up that morning and checking your account and seeing that there? And it's real.
Well, so throughout my process of selling roofs, I moved to Arizona because I struggled with addiction, and I was living in California. From Kentucky, I moved to California, was bartending, and then it finally got too much, and I moved to Arizona in 2017. And I was newly sober, and when I was newly sober, I had about 6 months sobriety, and that's when I got out of the phone room into roofing. And right when I got that money, about 2 months after I got that money, I fell short again and went back on drugs and alcohol. So really, I don't know what the heck I did with it or what I was thinking. I know I was just overwhelmed and super excited, but I got nothing to show from it. You know, that money was just gone, and it wasn't the right time, but it was an experience. And I knew that door to door, it just taught me, like, holy cow, like there's just so much opportunity out here.
It's real.
But
it's
real. But yeah, I mean, with the entire time I've been in roofing and door-to-door space, I have not made less than $200,000. But with that, I've only been able to in the past stay sober, 6 months at a time. So those $200,000 profits are only from 6 months worth of work. So
wow,
limitless potential, but it's always been the same story. And currently, I'm coming up on 18 months sober.
Wow.
And so I'm on the path to, change my life, but I've definitely had some hiccups, some blessings and some hiccups.
Sure.
I was in a meeting, because I go to AA meetings pretty consistently, and I hear it quite a bit, but it was just a reminder. They're like, Judson's the type of guy that you'll see him, crushing everything and make money super quick. But once again, fall on his face, but makes money quicker, does his comeback really, really quick. So I'm just really, I'm very grateful, but I'm also curious to see what the future entails, because I think it's just limitless.
For sure. I mean, sounds like you've been killing it by all, every sense of the word on, just a fraction of your potential, which is wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you're just going on a 2-year hot streak and then falling off. You're just little stints, but good for you for staying on the course for 18 months. I know it's not easy, brother. So good for you. That's rad. Really quickly, don't mean to divert, but what part of California were you bartending at?
Los Angeles. So I was bartending in Malibu. I went all over because I kept getting fired from jobs. I'd either show up drunk or not show up at all. Malibu, Santa Monica, Hollywood, pretty much all over.
I bet you saw some interesting cats around those parts. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Different, completely different.
I just moved here from Orange County, but I have a lot of friends up in Hollywood, Malibu, Calabasas, Segura Hills, that whole, Santa Monica, and not really my scene, but it's fun to go and experience. But I'm glad you got away from that and are doing well. Scottsdale gets rowdy though too.
Oh yeah. No, I got caught up in the old town.
The old town.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Old town bar scene is it's kind of similar.
Oh, for sure.
Different but similar.
Yeah.
Definitely very flashy and bougie.
Flashy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Old Town, Scottsdale. Woo! But cool, man. Okay, so door-to-door roofing, killing it. 18 months sober, just staying the course. What now? What are you up to now? Are you still in door-to-door roofing, or what are you up to?
Yeah, so I work currently for Pro West Roofing and Restoration. We're general contractors. I've been doing that for the past year. so I stepped back from that full time. While I was there, I built some relationships with some property managers and got a lot of commercial claims underway. One, I've got a claim that's at 1.3 million. Wow. And trying to get it to grow some more. I'm still kind of under investigation as far as how much the insurance wants to pay. I've signed 7 other commercial properties, and then I've got my commercial property management company that has over 1 million squares of roofs in Arizona that I'm still under surveillance for all of them. I've inspected all of them. I'm just trying to present them in the right order and not overwhelm the property management company. Yeah. But with that, I knew that I've always wanted to get into real estate, which is how I met you, which is at the Red Suit Realtor event in Utah, which I got introduced to go by Sam. So with that, I have stepped back from doing roofing full time to partnering up with one of my good friends and allowing him to 50-50 with me on all new deals, and then 80-20 on anything I already put in the pipeline. So I built the relationship. I've put in the work and effort for the shopping center claim that I have, and then any new deals that I already have, like the relationship built with the property manager, he'll get 50-50 on, and he runs production and delegates the rest. Gotcha. So on the weekend I do that. And then now I just got hired by Eric Klein and Tony Mont, who are here in Scottsdale. So I'm at an office 8 to 5 in Scottsdale, Arizona, doing acquisitions for real estate wholesale company. So currently right now, my role is to lock up deals under contract, remote sales, hence the headset. So I'm no longer just doing door to door. I'm doing remote sales, reaching out to homeowners that want to sell their properties. But we've been buying out of North Carolina, but we just transitioned into our backyard in the Arizona market. So one of my coworkers had just made an appointment in person this weekend. So I feel like I can definitely help out with doing those in-person door-to-door aspects of closing the deal. So looking to really just branch into wholesale completely, real estate completely, like get into the fix and flips, investments, just learn all about it and see what path I want to take most. But I know that whatever money I was going to make from roofing, I wanted to put it into real estate. So I'm just in the learning phase right now, and sales is what I do. So like, I'm just trying to keep my head, focused and stay dialed and keep moving forward.
Good for you, dude. And you mentioned the whole real estate bus tour via Sam, connections made, and then boom, that was like what, a month and a half ago, and you're in a whole different venture with some cool cats. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Like, I've mentioned this for our repeated listeners. They'll probably think, oh, Hunter's a broken record, but I often talk about how well connected Sam is. So well connected. It's insane, actually. Like I obviously tag along with him most places to film things. We can't even go to a Maverick without someone's like, bro, that's Sam Taggart, and just the people that he knows. And it continually just revalidates the power of network. And if, your network is your net worth, if utilized, and it sounds like you've utilized the network that's been given to you and that you've bought into, et cetera, and you're in a cool spot now. But question for you, so you're not really in the doors much anymore, but you spent years and years on the doors. This is a 2-part question. One would be, besides the obvious, you're in an office, on the phone, handling acquisitions, et cetera. What do you think the biggest difference is besides, again, the obvious, from knocking doors to now handling a lot of things in an office remotely for you? And then after you answer, I'll ask the second part.
Well, I think that obviously like eye contact and like posture and like being in front of somebody builds a lot more value and trust how you hold yourself together, how you present yourself door to door, would set myself apart. And I've been taught manners and how to look people directly in the eye. And that gives a calming presence and trust to the homeowner. Now I'm just basically having to rebuild this trust value with questions about the homeowner and how we can relate and third party stories. And before I even start talking about the sale, it's like, hey, I got to make sure that I can connect with this homeowner on the phone because if I was, pitched by somebody over the phone and I never met him, I don't think I would trust him. So it'd be really hard for somebody to trust me if I'm not trusting anybody over the phone. I wouldn't even give them the time of day if I'm being honest. Yeah. So not having that face-to-face interaction, it really takes a lot more to qualify that trust, And
that's everything. Because again, you're not selling the product, you're selling yourself. And it's way more challenging to do that via a headset than a face-to-face interaction. So I completely agree there. And I bet that was probably tricky at first, but you sound like you got it handled. The second question was, now that you're on the flip side of the coin and you're not on the doors, you're doing what you're doing now, it's a similar but yet different skill set, because like you just mentioned, it's a whole different element. If you were to go back now to knocking on doors after doing what you've been doing for however long, would you change up the way you do things? Has there been newfound skills on how to connect people differently because of that you would implement on the doors? And if so, what would it be?
Yeah, I know that I would know it. I would go into the situation thinking more about how I could just, connect with the person and build the relationship rather than just going through the quick process of what the sale is and what I'm offering. But I would have to rethink that, but I would definitely try to re-strategize a little bit. I was good at what I did, but I also now knowing the importance of setting yourself apart from whatever everybody else is doing. I think I would just have to try to be more aware of what corrections I would take. But I definitely look at it different. I'm like, oh, I guess that's what made me so good is my ability to just connect with I just treated every customer when it was door to door, this isn't my customer. This is my friend. This homeowner and me are hey, we're friends. I'm moving in. Me and you are I'm doing whatever you want me to do within reason, or at least you're going to think that that's what I want to do, is whatever's best for you. I want them to have no second guessing. Did they make the right decision with me? And I want to put myself in their shoes to make the decision of what mutually benefits both of us. Because if that experience with me is perfect, then there's no question that I can ask, hey, do you have any referrals? And nothing is in this life's free. So with that, I always want to capitalize on referrals by, offering them some kind of discount. Hey, if you give me, some referrals, I'm going to give you, a discount, say, on your deductible or whatever it may be. So where it benefits both of us.
100%. Guys, this is amazing. Judson, thank you. So many people just emphasize the product, the pitch, the strategy, the area, and they just fail to recognize that success in door-to-door is just your ability to connect with people and solve their biggest problems, right? And at the end of the day, people like people that are like themselves. And if you're struggling right now, and Judson can probably attest to this, if you're struggling, you're in a slump, or feel like for whatever reason, you're not getting the results that you want, stop focusing on that. Stop focusing on the how, and just go out and realize that behind every door is a human being with a life, with a story, with a personality, with interests, hobbies, passions, whatever, and just find what that middle ground is and connect with them, relate with them, be human too, give them what they want, cut them special deals. Like he said, Judson just said, we're like, I treat him like I'm about to move in. Like we're family now. Like that's how you should be approaching every single door and find the reasons behind every person as to how it's a genuine and real, authentic connection and interest in them and their life versus superficially doing it for the sale, which is a point that you brought up, Judson, was a lot of reps. And it's kind of a problem, especially I feel like in industries where there's higher ticket sales. Too many reps have, they're motivated by commissions or have commissions breaths, or as soon as like a solar rep gets that power bill and they see how much they're paying per month, the first thing they think about is how much money they're going to make, or if a roofer sees how big the roof is, you know what I mean? Like they get that commission breath. And you mentioned that that's not right. Can you speak to that a bit on how to I feel like as human beings, intrinsically, like money is a motivator to a degree. We all like it, we all need it. And sometimes if we can foresee this situation being a big deposit, it could be challenging to not let human instincts kick in, right? And think of it that way. What's your best practices for eliminating that element to the best of your ability and just focusing on, like you mentioned, just that's a human and not having that commission breath?
Well, I mean, not all jobs are the same commission. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. But if you're not consistent with every single homeowner of how you treat the job, like it is, you're doing it to the best of your ability, then your consistency changes, and then your performance changes. A lot of people ask me about how do I approach these commercial jobs, and I do it like the long play, but like, how do I approach these commercial jobs? I just treat it like it's one individual, like it's one person. There's one person I got to talk to that might be the gatekeeper that needs to talk to the next person, and I treat it just like I'm trying to connect with that one person. Sometimes it might seem intimidating, but to me, it's like, I just got to talk to one person. I don't give a shit what the commission looks like in the end. I just got to talk to this one person and connect with this one person. And if I can get in there and not think about, hey, how can I make big commissions off of this big commercial job? And instead, how can I get in there and show people who I am? If I can show people who I am, they're going to love me, and they're not going to want to get rid of me. And then that, as a byproduct, even if I don't make any money on the first, I'm going to make money down the road because they aren't going to want to use anybody else after they start working with me. And so with that, just like sacrificing, knowing what my value is, will allow me to, as a byproduct, make the money that everybody wants to make. But if I go into it and I'm like, I'm not going to do that unless I make money, dude, I've spent the last year and a half, I'm not kidding, I've spent the last year and a half making $0, spending over $15,000 on engineers and other, time and gas and weekends and nights on this commercial project, and I haven't gotten paid on it. I'm gonna make some money off of it, but like, I'm putting my time and effort, and I'm losing dollars because I'm proving who I am. This is a display of who Judson is and how business will be ran, so that for all these other projects, there's no question would they ever ask, hey, should we look for somebody else? No, they're gonna come to me every time, and I'm confident with that just because of how I've taken care of them, and I made them a promise, and I've fulfilled the promise.
Absolutely, so important, man. You take care of people, you give them what they want, and what you want comes back 100-fold. And if it's if you don't realize that, and you put your needs and you use people to get what you want, they'll sniff that out, and you ultimately won't get what you want. I love it. Yeah. Let's jump back into the door-to-door world. Your door-to-door world for a bit. When you joined, right, you got that 5K, quit your job, boom, you're all in. Did you hit the ground running, Judson? Did you get like immediate deals and you're just like, oh, I'm a natural at this? Or was it like a learning curve for you? And if it was the first where it was seamless for you, because it is for some people, they hit the ground running. They're like, wow, I'm good at this. Of course there's going to be bumps along the way. But what would you say was your biggest challenge early on in your door-to-door career? And how did you overcome it, get better, learn, and move on from it?
Yeah, I mean, I had pretty quick success, but I couldn't even, when I started, I couldn't even undo a A-frame ladder. Like there's a video of me. There's a video of me where I was just struggling to figure out how to close this ladder, and I was like, I signed a deal, but I couldn't even close the ladder.
You can shoot them up, pour them up nice.
Yeah.
Frame ladder. Don't ask him.
While I'm hammered, but no, sober, I couldn't even fold a ladder up. But I think, just doing the back end stuff when you're doing a full PM, there's different companies that do like different structures where, setter, closer, or full PM. So I do back end, sales, project management, everything. The hardest part was just learning the back end, learning the time management of like not stressing out about doing this back end while I just want to get the energy to go close more deals, but then I got to be everywhere. And it's like, oh, when am I going to have enough time? Because I just spent so much energy and momentum on the doors during the day. And at night, I'm just too tired. And now I want to go work out, but I got to do all this stuff. Oh, I never have enough time. And I'm all excited about all these new deals, but there was no balance. And then like, I was so stressed on having a learning curve. Dude, I'm really challenged at learning new material. By all means, this is not easy for me. I read a book don't get me wrong, actually I haven't read a book cover to cover, I think my whole life. And I do not remember, if I go read 3 pages and then you just ask me what I read, I have no idea. Unless I go in there individually and like write it down and write it down and write it down and write it down, I still might not know it. So learning new material that I'm not familiar with is such a headache and will stress me out. But in the moment and like people and relationships, I get all that and like that goes smooth. And I hit the ground running. I signed like 19 roofs in one neighborhood, signed these big sand cast roofs that everybody strives for. And like, I was putting up, I think there was at one point I was like $100,000 in approved every single month, and it did that quite for a while. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know if I said it earlier, but I sold 2.6 million in residential my first year. I wish I knew about the D2D con, so I would have gotten the golden door, but that's going back. But yeah, I hit the ground running, but the only way I got through it was to continuously ask people, for help. I couldn't just do it all by myself. I had to ask for help, and I annoyed a lot of people. I didn't mean to annoy people, but I did want to learn, but I still had that learning curve. And even if they taught me, I still probably didn't retain it until I asked it 5 or 6 times over. And
sorry, keep going.
Just kept going,
Yeah. I was going to ask you this question, and now's a good time. I was going to ask you if you had any early mentors, because I feel like a lot of people that I podcast with, there's a few reoccurring themes, sports upbringings or competitive by nature. They're very self-motivated individuals. Sounds like you are as well. But a lot of them they were fortunate enough to have like a good mentor or a good manager or a good, trainer, whatever the title was, the person was in their sales career early on, which helped them with that learning curve and just getting them to be successful pretty quick and being patient with them. Did you have anyone in particular that you were like, if it wasn't for this person or those people, man, it would have been probably a different story in how I panned out?
Yeah, that's a layered answer. I mean, so when I started off in roofing, the owner of the company was the guy that was signing these massive roofs, and I was like, I want to do what he's doing. And at the same time, like I knew that I still had to have a little bit of additional, like, hey, I got to make this my own. Even though he's doing this, I need to do it, some more. And so I invested in D2D University, I guess back in 2018 or 2019, maybe.
A while ago.
And yeah, a while ago. And I think we went to a door-to-door or one of Sam's events that was in Phoenix. But yeah, no, the owner of the company was pretty well known at sales. Definitely inspired me to go after these big claims and kind of supported me with it. And yeah, taught me a lot. Taught me some good things, taught me some bad things, but definitely taught me a lot. And the consistency, the drive, the go-getter, the knock hellacious doors was a lot from him. It kind of showed me, like, here's what people are doing that are at this level,
Totally.
And yeah.
So when you were back working with this guy, did you primarily go after just the big claims, or were you, intermingling it with like just normal resi hoods, a 30, 50K roof, or were you just, nope, I set on the big ones only. I'll wait, I'll do the work, the multiple touches. Because a lot of these smaller claims, you can one touch them, two touch and get them done. A lot of the bigger claims, as you know, it's you're working through, you've got to find the gatekeeper, and it's a bigger deal. So what was your process like? Were you just like big fish hunter, or were you doing the both?
Well, when I first started, I was definitely focused on shingle roofs. And then once I started seeing one of my coworkers, bringing in $20,000, $30,000 claims, I was very intrigued. And then one day I just got the balls to go after one of these sandcast clay tiles. So sandcast clay tile is Mexican, handmade, bent over the thigh, very fragile, not even a true roofing product. It was just completely decorative tile made out of Mexico. And so they're not walkable, super, super hard to repair without causing more damage. So just one day I got the balls to knock one and ended up signing it. And after that, I was very, very focused on where are these things. I'm going after every single one of them.
Sure.
And I stuck in like the Paradise Valley area really tough.
Yeah.
And I quit. Eventually, I quit knocking shingles. I thought that shingles weren't worth my time because, I was selling a lot of these sandcasts that were $200,000, $300,000, some $500,000 residential claims.
Oof.
And and so then I partnered up with the guy, and we both were really well known for selling these sandcasts. But then it became a problem because there was so much downtime, and like all I was fixated on was these bigger claims, and they weren't giving me quick money. Sure. It was it was a lot of downtime in between, and so there's a lot of hunting and figuring out where these roofs are, and not a lot of consistent like reps. Not a lot of reps, a lot of hunting and strategizing and flying the drone and putting the reports together and waiting and negotiating and back and forth, but not like, hey, let's hit this neighborhood, let's get out on the street, get on our feet and knock doors in masses. It was like, go to a high-end neighborhood, find the area where these sandcasts are located, drop pins wherever they're located, see if you see any damage, and keep following up until you get a hold of them, and strategizing how to get a hold of these homeowners. But just a lot of in between time.
Totally. With this, did you find that the homeowners with the more expensive roofs, the bigger roof claims, were more opted to file a claim versus the smaller end shingle roofs, cookie cutter type houses, or no?
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a homeowner that has a roof that's much bigger and much more expensive, it's much more of a cost for them. So if it's something that insurance can cover, it's much more of a blessing for them. And if all they're paying is the deductible, then those are type of homeowners that, most likely are always, the bigger the home is, the more they're maintaining the home, the more expenses are regularly occurring, and the more likely that they've got a way bigger premium that they're paying. So they're like, oh yeah, this insurance company, if we can get a new roof out of this, I'd be more than happy. So,
dude, you've been paying this insurance company for 13 years and your premium's X amount. You've already paid for a new roof essentially with your, let's just get them put one on for you. I found very seamless, because before I was here with Sam and D2D, I was actually out in Florida with a restoration company. So I was helping them file claims for water damage, mold, water pipe burst, etc. But more often than not, because it's South Florida, a lot of hurricanes, we had Milton go through, we would help them file a water claim and then have a roofer come in, because a lot of times it was from the roof, come in and do the roof. So I got kind of versed in that world. And I just found that like the smaller, like you think would be like click, 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 click type houses were more skeptical, but the bigger houses with the bigger premiums who care and understand the value of utilizing insurance, that's what it's there for. It's a legitimate claim. Hey, cover the cost of my, $80,000 roof. I don't want to, and I know I need something done. So that makes total sense, but it is a lengthier process, right?
Yeah. Definitely lengthier process.
For sure. So question for you, Judson, throughout your career, have you ever stepped into sales leadership, or have you always just been doing your own thing, banging doors, making your money?
No, I've recently stepped into a manager role where I was a team lead. I brought on a team of 8 guys, which, they'll look to me to train them, to possibly take them knocking doors, run them through how to do the computer work, the CRM. Basically at Pro West, you're able to bring guys on, but you gotta train them through everything, and you get a percentage of their profits, and it has different tiers and whatnot. But it's a hassle for me when I feel like, I've still got all the energy to create business, and that's what I'm really good at. I realize I'm not the best at training what I know how to do. I know how to tell it very briefly, but it's really, you can't teach somebody discipline. You can't teach somebody hard work. You can tell them how to do it, but you get caught up in, holding people's hand, and some make it and some don't. Mm-hmm. And everybody's looking for the answer, and the answer is not, it ain't easy. It's hard work and sweating and Arizona sun, knocking doors is not easy. It's not the worst, but it's not easy. And I wish I was better. I think that it was a learning experience, but touche to those dudes that are building culture and are leaders that are sacrificing their financial gain to see their team grow. Because there's some dudes that are doing it right now that really, really sacrifice just so much and are able to build that culture that nobody else is able to build, because of just being a solid dude and seeing the big picture of things. They're touche to a few people out there.
There's a few. I feel like everyone comes into the industry, they're underneath a sales leader, a manager, who's underneath, right, a regional, a VP, whatever. There's a hierarchy in the door-to-door world, right? So a lot of, even corporate jobs, like there's a structure and a hierarchy. I have a boss that I report to, and he reports to Sam. You know what I mean? Like there's a hierarchy, and for some reason, maybe it's not just our industry, people just like fantasize and romanticize even like that role because of the idea of like a higher income base. And I feel like a lot of reps shoot for a managerial role unaware of the very high responsibility that is now entailed if you want the monetary benefit associated, right? It's like, just because you have that title doesn't guarantee a certain income level that you may think comes with it from the gates. No, it is now taking a majority and a bulk of your time and pouring it into other people, like you said, who may or may not make it. You can only do so much. You can only, you bring a horse to water, you can't bring it to drink. And then they get burnt out. And they're like, well, when I was knocking doors, it was, I thought it was hard at the time, but now I'm just like, dude, my income's suffering. And there's an art to it. You have to do it right. And so many reps don't. And it's kind of silly. They think, oh, like this person just runs correlation meetings and just helps me with my CRM, and he's hardly ever knocking. And, he's driving an $80,000 car. Like, I want to be at his level, because when I get there, I'll have the same. Wrong. No, it's a certain skill set. It takes a certain type of person. And like you said, like, they are hyper focused on building other things. And a lot of times, like, you got to go down to go up. People think when they reach a certain level of like title status, like money comes with it. It's not the case, like, at all. And people don't make it because they prematurely jump to that or demand it. I recruited X people, like I should be given a manager role. It's like, no. But for me, and it sounds like for you as well, like there's just so much beauty in the simplicity of just going out and generating your own business. Like you only can control what you can control, right? And I feel like if you're just knocking on doors or on the phone, like you can control a very large portion of it. And if you're a manager, I'm not, and by the way, I'm not discrediting the role in any way. Like, it's very important to have sales leadership. Sales leadership is crucial and needed. I've been it, you are it, but I feel like it's not for everybody. And if you're listening to this and you maybe be in that boat where it's like you've been knocking doors for a year and you're looking at your manager and you're looking at like, hey, I want to be there. That's amazing. You should always aspire for more. Meet with your manager, meet with your regional, meet with your VP and create a growth plan, but enjoy where you are at now, because there's so much simplicity and beauty in just everyday you going out, knocking doors, creating this transaction in thin air, creating a plan, sticking to the plan, becoming better, sharpening that axe, going out and executing, because in that role, there's so many other things that convolute the simplicity of just going and generating transactions and knocking on doors. So yeah, how's that role going for you? Do you enjoy it, or are you, just missing the days where you can just focus on Judson and creating new business?
Oh, so I'll tell you straight up, I gave it up. I with the new business that I'm in right now, with my week Monday through Friday tied up, I basically forfeited my downline, the guys that I recruited, to my partner Derek, and it's a lot, because it was a lot, because you talk about the me versus me, it's always you versus you, and it is. It's hard for me to transition to coach other people when the battle that I have to be who I am, like every day, is like I have self-defeating like weaknesses that creep up every day, and they're like, hey, be lazy. You don't want to work out. You don't need to wake up. Oh, you got more time to just relax. Hey, you just sold a bunch. So like, go easy on yourself, just chill a little bit. And so I'm like, I talk to myself like, you need to get the F up, stop being weak. Don't, I gotta wake up in the morning and I gotta throw headphones on, and it's a little autistic, but it's like, because if the voices talk to me and tell me to get comfortable and like, give yourself some more time to shower. Oh, you're too lazy to cook that food that, you're supposed to be disciplined with. Oh, you don't want to, do a little workout in the morning before you go to work. You don't have enough time. So I need to like immediately wake up, get my body moving, drink a shake, throw on the headphones. I listen to worship music, some positivity, because my mind's full of just like negativity when I wake up. So with that, where I was trying to like manage other guys, it's like I've got this like battle going on in my head of like, don't be weak. And then so like somebody comes to me advice and I'm like, whoa, like I don't have time for this. Like, and I'm like, oh, I I didn't mean that, but like, you know, I have a heart to want to help people, and I do know that I have a lot of insight to give, but it's a struggle. It's a battle for me to do it when other people want it. I think I'm learning how to take a breath and take in like, oh, it's not all just about me. So I try to work on working with others, but I'm definitely, you know, I grew up as an only child. So like, I've been very independent on, you know, my business and my life as a whole. And I do have things that I need to work on. And one of them is working better with others that aren't just my customers.
I can see it now. It's like the demons I overcome to ensure my success, and you're crying to me like just do it. Like nothing to say, but just punch them in the face and just do it. Like, don't look at me to give you that punch. Like, you got to do that punch. So I totally understand, because we're all human. Like some people have it. I feel like mentally, those mental demons are greater than others. I wholeheartedly believe that. Some people can just wake up with a smile on their face. They're just like, oh, you know, and they just go. Some people have to literally like fight them off just to get going. And then there's 4 other dudes, guys, gals, hitting you up, also dealing with their own demons, looking for their manager to help them overcome their demons. And it's like, it could be a lot, you know?
I think, you know, just pulling myself out of the gutters. You know, I've been homeless, relapsed off of drugs and alcohol numerous times. You know, I've struggled with addiction since I was in high school, you know, 20 years. I think that thinking in that moment, thinking is good at times, but for early recovery and with work and knocking doors, thinking can just put me in a bad spot. So I got so used to, this is how I get out of this. And I did pretty well every time. This is how I get out of this. I take action right now. It's urgent. I need to do it now. Take action. Just don't move. Don't sit. Just take moves, make moves, keep going. So I'm, you know, for anybody that's struggling with, and it doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol, struggling with anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, not having success, like you gotta set an intention. Set an intention for knocking doors by getting a counter app. There's a little app that you know lets you tally how many doors you've knocked, and keep it simple. Just, hey, this is how many doors I'm going to knock today. You know, Sam gave me a task. He said, man, I don't think, you know, you're bringing in enough new business. And I was like, oh, I haven't had this accountability. Nobody really judges me because I've always usually been up here. And so he's like, yeah, I mean, the truth is, like, you used to, you know, sell all this, but like right now you really don't have that much in your pipeline. You're focused too much on these commercials. You need to knock more doors. And so I got that counter app, and I just kept it simple to 30 doors a day. And even if I don't get a deal, the endorphins that I get by just hitting that button and saying, oh, I checked off a door. And it's just like, okay, I got 5 more doors, where if I didn't have that counter app and had 5 more doors to check off, then I probably wouldn't have, you know, gone after those 5 more. And then in those last 5, many a times, I'll get a deal where I wouldn't have gotten one before.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That counter app is gold. I used to preach that and make my reps download it and segment it like doors knocked, qualified like buyers you spoke to, like renters, you know, and truly track their statistics and give them a reason, like, or give them like, hey, the results are a byproduct. The results and the money, like, do not focus on the number of sales and the dollars earned today. Focus on just doing the work. Focus on, hey, if your goal is 100 doors a day, or if your goal is to speak to 15 like qualified buyers, it may take you 60 doors to reach 15 qualified buyers between the not homes and the renters and my husband's not here. Like, people think like, oh, dude, I knocked 100 doors today. It's like, okay, but how many qualified this is a conversation where somebody could buy, you know, how many of those did you have today? Well, I don't know. It's like, okay, well, why don't you keep tally of that? Then you can say, okay, well, I had a true, not just like a true 15 at bats. and I got one lead from those 15 at bats. Then you can it's good for many reasons. Like you just mentioned, having a why, having a motivator, having something you're working towards, not just being able to just willy-nilly clock out, but actually having a metric that you can measure and increase. It's like, hey, I'm struggling. Okay, cool. How many doors do you knock? I don't know. There's a problem. I'm struggling. Okay, how many people did you speak to that could buy? I don't know. Well, I can't help you if I don't know where you're struggling. You know what I mean? And it was a great tool to understand my reps and understand, even for myself, I did it 7 years in, and I was done knocking, not done, but really was overwhelmed with other things, not able to knock doors. I was 7 years deep. Click, knock, renter, click on the rent, click, rent, knock, knock, husband's not here, one leg or click. I was keeping those tallies because you got to measure your performance. And like you said, you got to have a goal daily. Otherwise, you're just I worked hard. You know what I mean? You can just tap out. I totally agree. We got to wrap up soon. I have a final question for you, Judson. Let's say I just got hired at your company to go to sell, and we're in door to door, and I'm in the passenger seat of your car, and we're driving to area. I'm this eager young rep who got recruited on the basis of $100,000, whatever the case may be. And I say, hey, Judson, you've been doing this a while. Your stories are legendary. You've made some money. What's the number one piece of advice you'd give me to ensure that I have success in door to door?
Number one piece of advice: knock doors. But seriously though, it's get in front of more customers. If you're thinking too much about it, well, how many people have you talked to? When people say, how do you get these commercials? I'm like, well, I knock them. Well, you want to get these commercials? How many commercials have you knocked? Oh, well, no, I don't know what to do. Well, that's your problem. You should just knock them because it's just one person. Yeah. So you need to just get out there and knock more doors. But besides knocking the doors, and besides sales and focusing on the sales, make sure that you're mentally and physically put together. Mm-hmm. And by that, I mean, work out, eat healthy. And with that, then your energy is going to carry while you go to the doors, and you're going to be more confident with yourself, and you're going to get more business because people are going to see you, and they respect you because you take care of yourself. And so the way you take care of yourself and the way you present yourself will say, okay, that's how he's going to treat my house. If he looks like he works out, if he looks like that he, is clean cut, put together, then I'm confident that he'll treat my house the same, with respect. And so even if you don't work out, but if you're in a good mindset and you go to these doors and you're pumping yourself up and you have a good routine, routine's crucial. But just don't put trash into your body. Even if you don't work out, eat right, because if you're eating bad, then your endurance is going to go way down. You're going to fatigue so much easier. If you're knocking doors, stay as much time as you can on the doors. If you keep going to use the bathroom and you got to pull over to the gas station, or you don't have enough snacks, it's because you didn't prepare. You need to prepare. And who's too good to pee in a bottle? I'm not. I'm gonna pee in that bottle because that's just what I am. I'm a door knocker, and if I need snacks, if I feel like I'm hungry every single day and I'm thirsty, well, I'm gonna probably be hungry and thirsty every single other day that I'm out on the doors. So I'm packing snacks, I'm packing waters, I'm prepared. And so if morning I got to wake up and I got to go to the gym, and then I have all my food and stuff ready. If I don't have enough time that morning, then I need to, prepare on Sunday where I can do all that. So I'm prepared the whole week. So it doesn't take a bunch of time. It's a lot of preparation of making sure
totally
I'm there and I'm ready.
Absolutely, man. If you more, fail to prepare to fail is cliche, whatever. It's so true. It is so true in our industry. And if you think about it, from a homeowner's perspective, because every person has had conversations with people that they've genuinely liked and enjoyed the conversation. And they've all had conversations with individuals who had terrible or negative energy and they didn't like being around. It's like, if you have a shitty morning, you don't prepare, you're fighting with your spouse and you don't correct it or don't get your mind right or whatever the case may be, you don't eat right, and you take that negativity, that bad energy, that slumpy attitude, and you go on the doors and you think, oh, I'm gonna hit my 100 today and I'm gonna be successful. No, you are not. You may get lucky. You may get lucky and find a laydown or two, maybe, if you actually hit all the doors you say you're going to. But at the end of the day, we're in sales. We're not in laydown hunting. If you want to go be successful and make the money that these high earners do, you have to be in the right state of mind. And you have to be the person on the door that the homeowner wants to conversate with, that they like, they want to talk to. Your energy alone can change the trajectory of their day based off of how you interact, your body language, your smile, your energy. Even on the phones, like it's more of a hurdle because there's not that energetic, element. There's not the eye contact, whatever the case is, but it's still prevalent. And it's like, you need to do the things prior to ensure you put your best foot forward, you have the energy, you can be your best self and be a person that they want to conversate with. Bare minimum, like literally that is like starting point. You got to have that dial ready to go before you go knock doors if you want to be the person that you proclaim that you want to be. Because everyone in a correlation meeting, everyone on a Zoom interview can say, oh, I want to be this person, I'm gonna be this person, I am that person. But it's like, it's very easy to tell who is and who isn't by who prepares prior, who doesn't. Did you get 8 hours of sleep? Are you hydrated? Are you eating right? Did you take care of yourself physically and mentally? Because I don't think you did, based off of this conversation. You know what I mean? So I couldn't agree more with you. If you do that, and then when you're on the doors, you have to be at a certain state to progress, to learn, to overcome, because it's tiring physically and mentally. I mean, for the people knocking in 100+ degree weather in Arizona, or for the friends up in Canada that are trudging through 4 feet of snow, like, you have to be at a certain state, and it's not just going to come. It's never just going to come with your McChicken and your 4 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a prerequisite. And if you want to focus on how to overcome objections, navigate smoke screens, connect with people and have the energy to do so, you have to prepare. I couldn't agree more. But is there anything else you want to add, Judson? Anything else you want to say? Any other tips before we log off here?
Just lean into whatever you fear. Like, whenever it ain't easy it's not just an easy process knocking doors. It's scary. It was a lot scarier in the beginning than it is now. Like, when I remember the first day when, they told me, get out of the truck. Okay, go knock that door. I don't know what I'm doing. Dude, just go talk to him. Like, hey, the roof, whatever the fear is, like, it's scary for everybody. So I've just learned that I need to lean into that more, whatever's fearful, whatever I don't understand yet, because that's the part that's going to make me money. Yep. That's the part that's going to give me success, is doing the thing that everybody else is afraid of, the unknown, the risk. I love the unknown and the risk. What's going to happen? They're going to tell me no. So I mean, it's the same thing with these high-end homeowners. Oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Perfect. Well, I'm going to save them some money. Like, what is the advantage? That's the focus. Not, hey, I'm going to make a ton of money off this. It's like, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to connect with this person. It might not work out, but I'm going to still try. All I'm going to do is talk to that one person. That's it. Just go in there and give it a shot, and don't settle for the norm and stick to the same routine that isn't making you happy. Take whatever risk you need and go for it, because the pain of staying the same would just be awful for me not taking a chance, for just not being able to look back and say, hey, well, at least I tried. I'm gonna try everything. I wish I had more time, because I know the reality is we don't have all the time in the world, but I'm gonna venture out. And the there was so much fear in me leaving roofing or transitioning out of roofing into this real estate space, and I'm taking a substantial pay cut in the beginning for sure, but I took the risk because I can do whatever I want as a human. I have free will, and everybody has free will. So do whatever you want to do. Don't settle because you're just scared because you don't have everything set up perfectly. There's no rules. Fuck rules.
Fuck them, dude. I love it. Absolute fire from my man Judson Link. If you enjoyed this podcast, go ahead and follow along, because we post this stuff all the time. Judson, thank you again for taking the time and hopping on. If you post on social, if you're active, is there anywhere that our listeners can, follow along on your journey and glean more from you and your wisdom?
Yeah, I mean, you can look me up on Instagram at Judson, JUDSON_Link, LINK, or hit me up on Facebook. I'll be posting roofing as well as wholesale real estate stuff. My coaches are Eric Klein and Tony Mont. So yeah, love the door-to-door space. It's been such a blessing. Sam, such a blessing. Great friend. Great to meet you. I'll never ever put door-to-door behind me, and I can't wait to transition some hybrid deals with this real estate space.
Oh yeah, dude. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for listening. See you next time.